nice.
Yeah, baby, we know.
Or
Eric,
that
take your
or
shirt.
skydiving.
Take your
Oh,
shirt.
that's cool. Skydiving is scary.
Yule.
Arigato gozaimasu.
And the river dirt you
Yeah. Yeah, hasta la vista, bud. That's what he said, right?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh shit.
Do that right now.
You're gonna see me.
Right, I don't know if you can do it, if you could like put it to Facebook that we're live.
Huh?
So you can put it to
I'll
Facebook
put
that we're
that.
live.
I'm
You
gonna
grab
show
the
you
link
again.
from YouTube
Well, I'm sorry.
because we're live on
Watch
YouTube.
us.
You go to Facebook.
In
And we're live.
full.
Or Instagram, or both. Whichever one you can do.
You are in my
There we
signal.
go. They don't move.
Why?
I'm sorry, I meant excuse me. No,
For
I'm sorry.
what? Oh, you're going there?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it starting?
Yes.
We're live right now.
But,
Yes. We are.
oh, we are?
Yes.
Yes, we're live right now.
Damn. Okay.
Don't worry, I started it right after the part where you're talking shit about your absolute best friend in the world.
No, I was concerned because I said my butt is sweaty once we were already live, and now I'm repeating it again.
Double down. I
It's
like
hot
it.
down here.
What's going on? Do you want to use the audio
Look,
device?
don't use. Yeah, you gotta not touch that. Don't use. Don't use. Alright, cool.
Yep.
I think we
And
should
I'm
be
still,
fine.
yeah, I'm still
Okay.
good.
Because use would have been me going over there and sweating for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I think
that
we're
would
good.
that went crazy. So
My
you
levels
said, you
was
said
kinda
Bree,
crazy.
right? You're talking
Mine's a
mad
little
heat
loud.
about Bree? That was your first.
What?
Right? She was talking mad heat about Bree?
Yeah, she
Who's
was.
that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't even know
Yeah,
anyone named
I'm hearing
Bree,
like an
so-
echo.
You're hearing echo?
Yeah.
From?
Okay.
It might be because you're hearing us and then in the headphones. That's
Oh.
not how it works sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might be.
Yeah. You can turn down my levels a little bit, Sharon. Looks like I'm like the only one close to PJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. I didn't even topics up. Forgot to put it up.
Wow.
That's cool. We have more fun.
Should I open Google?
Hey everyone that's
TBC
joining us
account.
live, because you can just join live. We're on
Yeah,
right
the
now.
third one.
Look at that road trip picture. That small, crazy.
Yeah. Thank you. I took it myself.
Yes.
That was when I was in Rockwell. They were like, oh, that's perfect. Just leave it right there.
Okay.
When we get to that part, you can just open the link as well.
Okay.
All right, cool. Intro is Eric.
Nah, we ain't nothing.
You know, like podcasts that just don't even have an intro.
Most
They can definitely hear that.
most
Are we
podcasts.
bought it?
Yeah, we're on
Yeah,
right
where
now.
you been?
I showed you the video. Yeah.
I've never
No, I mean,
heard of
yeah, I know
podcasts
we're
that
on
doesn't
live.
have-
I didn't know the
Oh,
pod
yeah,
started.
we
well, no,
we
it
recorded.
didn't because we didn't do an intro.
No, yeah,
Yeah, we have an intro shit.
what if that was the intro?
Then it's really whack.
Wait, you said
Wow, you must not listen to a lot of podcasts.
Wait, you
I
said
don't have
you've never-
intros anymore. Word.
you've never
I don't
heard.
be listening to podcasts.
I feel
Not even my own.
Don't play by my rules.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't like it.
I kind of hate podcasts.
Yeah?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm like, why don't I want to hear people talk about shit? Like, I just talk about it myself. Listen to my podcast though.
I'm not even mad at that.
No,
Honestly.
because like, because people have terrible opinions and
Yeah.
are very quick to harass other people with their opinions.
About their
like
opinions.
confidently.
Yeah, and
Right.
then say like my opinion is the penultimate opinion.
Yeah. I'm like, I could just have that in my own social circle. I could just listen to y'all's bad opinions all day. Like,
Who's y'all?
The
y'all.
sad part about it
Just you?
is I kind of agree with you, right? Like, 'cause I don't like re-listening to myself talk about
No.
whatever the hell I'm talking about.
Like,
But I have to edit it, so I listen to Margaret talk about terrible things like over and over and over.
That makes
when
sense.
I lived it, and now I have to edit it too. It's terrible. You're right, Margaret.
That makes a lot of sense.
That explains the lag on our Pizza Quest episodes.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Come in soon.
Uh-huh.
was.
We got all that food. And nothing.
It was all pizza.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, but yeah, you can formally intro us.
Well, what's up, guys? This is the Black Collective Podcast. We're just gonna kick it with you guys for a bit. Talk about some current events, some stuff that's on our minds. I'm Eric, as you heard.
I'm Margaret.
I'm Yule.
Dash.
And we're just gonna start with, I guess, the topic of what's going on. The Lawrence Pilaf Jr. writes his father.
How do you say his name? Faf. I feel like the P is silent.
Is the P silent? It's P-F-A-F-F?
How would you pronounce that?
Faf.
Faf?
I don't even know what that is. So why y'all looking at me?
Fast
It's
food.
right there.
Yeah, no, I don't know who that is.
No one knows who
No one
that
knows
is. He's
who
not
that is.
anyone like
Oh.
specific.
Well, then why are we talking about his father's
Jerry,
picture?
what was it?
Because his obituary is type crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna, you'll read it first.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll read it.
I love when
Let's
I'm prepared for the topics. I love when I've done my research.
Wait, we didn't introduce Sharon.
go. Yeah, Sharon 1s and 2s today. She's behind the scenes. Say hi, Sharon.
Hi.
So you can start
Oh.
right there.
All right, you can click the word obituary. I'll read it. So, backstory on this: Lawrence H. Pfaff, Lawrence Pfaff Jr. Wrote an obituary for his father after he passed. God rest his soul, or not. Based on what he wrote, you'll actually hear this. So I'm gonna read it. All right. So he wrote, Lawrence H. Pfaff Sr. was born in Belmont, New York, on April 16, 1941. He passed away on June 27, 2022, living a long life, much longer than he deserved. He is survived by his 5 children. Well, as of 2022, we believe there's one more that we know about, but there could be more. His love was abundant when it came to himself, but for his children it was limited. From a young age, he was a ladies' man and an abusive alcoholic, solidifying his commitment to both with the path of destruction he left behind, with damaging his adult children and leaving them broken.
See,
That's
his
first
son.
paragraph. This is Junior.
saying that.
So not only his son, the one named directly after him.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I like how he ends with a strong thesis statement.
No.
Lawrence
Are you gonna break
Sr.'s
this
hobbies
down?
included abusing his first wife and children. I'm guessing he was that one of those children. He loved to start projects, but never followed through on any of them.
Relatable.
He enjoyed the life of a barfly for many years and had a quaint little living space studio above his favorite hole in the wall, the Club Nashville.
In Nashville, or just like?
Yeah, he's from Nashville.
Oh, he's from Nashville.
Lawrence Sr. did spend
Sheesh.
over 20 years in the NYPD.
Tracks.
It
Yeah.
really says a lot.
Makes sense.
But even his time in service was negligent at best because of his alcohol addiction. His commanding officer took away his gun and badge, replacing them with a broom until he could get his act together.
Yo, imagine you're like, alright, we're on patrol. Okay. And he hands you one of those little.
Oh, the little
The
broom.
little
You
cans.
don't think he got a full-size broom?
Nah.
I don't think so
He
either.
didn't get a full-time broom could do damage.
Yeah, they didn't trust him with anything bigger than this. Lawrence Sr. did claim to be a clean and sober over 30 years, but never worked any of the 12 steps, including the 8th and 9th steps with his children making amends. He possesses no redeeming qualities for his children, including the ones he knew and the ones he knew about. It will be challenging to miss Lawrence Sr. because he was narcissistic, he was incapable of love. Lawrence Sr.'s passing proves that evil does eventually die, and it marks the time of healing, which will allow his children to get the closure they deserve. Lawrence Sr. can be remembered for being a father to many and a dad to none.
Yikes.
This was
This is-
actually published. This is in the Florida Times Union.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they accepted this obituary.
They were like, let's get messy. Let's do it. I mean, it's Florida,
It's
right?
Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
I would expect him to be from. Well,
He's from New York.
I think his son probably moved to Florida because to escape Tennessee.
So that's probably,
likely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thoughts?
This again. You have to be very hated, like exponentially hated, where your child doesn't like, oh, I hate you so much, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to think about you, I'm glad you're dead. It is such a loathing. You're like, I'm going to let everyone know and construct a very well written form on how much you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, because, even like, a lot of people die, right? And a lot of people get nice obituaries. Not all those people were great. So there's a lot of sugarcoating. There's a lot of like just straight up lying about people's characters when they die. So I feel like obituaries should be more real. They should be like this. Tell everybody exactly who that person was.
Yeah, people do get like the benefit of the doubt after they die a lot. Right? They're like, oh man, he was such a good soul, but no, he wasn't.
See,
I knew him. He
it's
wasn't.
fair to say that. Like, yeah, he can be like, oh, he did this and did this, and I had great moments. And there's times like I didn't have so many shining things I want to put on my wall. But I would like to say, for the better part of almost, I think, a regular relationship with parents, they're not gonna have the greatest moments because you're a kid. You're like, I want this, and that one no, you're like, nah, they're horrible. I'm gonna tie their sneakers together. Like, that's what I thought when I was a child. I'm like, I understand. I have a 5-year-old niece, and she'd be asking, go to your room. And I guarantee she'd be like, my uncle's a bully. But I'm just like, no.
This is like another level though. You probably still gonna get a nice old bit. Or,
Oh yeah,
I don't necessarily have a problem with excusing certain like human mistakes that people made when they die and not bringing them up and whatever. But like, you would get something like this when your whole life was a human mistake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like no redeeming qualities. Like you didn't.
As he said,
He
yeah.
said,
You
don't
did
know how
nothing
many
good
kids.
for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it seems like he left a lot of damaged children. 5, maybe,
Yeah.
behind.
Or more.
When you're, I think that like the funeral is probably gonna be a place, right?
I'm wondering
if
if
everyone goes
anyone's
to your
even gonna
funeral,
go.
right? Yeah, exactly. They probably
Yeah.
did, likely based on this. I'm assuming this man did not go from Florida to tell you to go to this funeral.
So
Because-
no, they were lived in New York. The club was called Nashville.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did serve in the NYPD. Wow, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh.
unfortunately, one of us.
Oh, us is a strong word.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. There's no way to cut it any type of corners.
Now I want to see what Nashville's like.
I was dead ass thinking
There's
the
the-
same thing. I was
is
like,
there
this
a club
club's still
Nashville?
open though?
Yeah,
We can check.
check it out.
Yeah. Somebody Google it.
You
The
should,
club
you should take a trip to Nashville.
in his honor or
No, not in his honor.
No,
absolutely
never
not.
in his honor.
Pour one out for Lawrence Senior. Just
But,
kidding.
yo,
we're gonna do a scathing expose at the club Nashville. We're gonna go to like the
Just to
bartenders
see,
and be
you know,
like,
what type
hey, do you
of-
remember Lawrence? She was a
I'm-
regular
yeah.
here.
I'm almost positive it's not open anymore, but you know,
He
we can see
he
what-
just recently passed. This
No,
was
I know, but
published
so
in
he
July.
lived like he lived there for many years. I mean, I guess he could have lived there as an old man. For some reason, I associate it with the time that he was.
no, it's the only club Nashville popping up. Isn't
All right, well,
I'm the NYPD then.
then lived in
Moved
the
out there?
studio.
Yeah.
he might have done the NYPD after all that.
This is
We don't know the timeline per se,
yeah.
but it's very, very bad.
What a twist.
Wow. Do you guys think anybody in your life is gonna be like, write this scathing review by the end of it? Do you think you've ever harmed anyone so bad? You've broken up with that ex that really, really hates you? Is there anyone that could write a scathing review?
The only person that, for me, can write a skating review of me for that is the guy that broke their arm. But
Eric,
other
what?
Eric just-
none of my family or friends will write something like that.
Who? Eric, what? Rewind.
I might write it as a joke.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I broke a kid's arm before.
Eric be hurting people left and right.
Ugh.
Just you have a wake. You have left like bodies in your wake. You know what I mean? Just like damage, physical damage to people. But thankfully, those people are not your friends and family, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
Margaret? Got any?
Honestly, the only person in my life with enough writing chops to produce something of this quality is me. So no, I don't really think anyone would be able to write.
Oh, definitely. I'm
I
definitely
don't
writing
really
this.
like
If
this.
you better not go first, Margaret.
I'm not
You
going
have
to.
to.
Don't you worry about it.
Listen,
I'm a
I'll
young
help you
girl,
too.
you know.
Actually,
It's gonna be co-written by like that.
Because we were doing what were we doing for the fill in the blank shit earlier.
Yeah.
We're not too bad at vocabulary.
Yeah, vocabulary.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It takes more than vocabulary from us, but okay.
All right. I'm not.
This guy.
I'm not
You know what you
gonna.
should do, though?
I'm not gonna pull out my accolades. I'm
No.
gonna hold it down.
I'm just kidding though. No. I think people fuck with me. I don't think someone would write this about me.
I got like 2, but
But like, alright, but in line of this questioning, is it friends and family, or is it just people who exist?
people that you may have wronged.
It has to be someone I think who at least knew you intimately, who would be asked to write an obit of you.
See, yeah.
I mean, I feel like he knew Lawrence Jr. intimately either. It doesn't seem like he was there much.
No, but you know what I mean. At least the like.
You know what's
There's
funny?
a relation
is,
there.
I think that he was there to witness everything.
Yes.
He wasn't
Right.
a friend or loved per se.
But
by
you saw
but he saw
his father
everything,
live,
and
yeah.
he's like, "Say less. I can't wait for the day."
I mean,
Literally.
clearly, if they asked his son to do it, this man has no friends.
He might be his only relative that's willing to be there,
Right.
and he might have been just doing it due to spite.
I honestly think this is kind of therapeutic. He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I hated this guy."
For sure.
I'm like, I think don't you pay to put an obituary
No.
in the paper?
He's like, I'm about to eat.
Oh, actually, in the newspaper, yeah, you have to pay for that.
Yeah, I think he paid to put
Wait.
this out. So he was like, "Oh yeah, this
You
is."
think even
this
in
is my time to shine.
the Florida Times Union, I feel like they would be desperate for content.
No, it's Florida.
It's
I believe they
Jacksonville.
have content.
So how much is it? $12.
Yeah, but I think because now that you said it, to write an obituary, to just put it out there is totally fine. That's free, but it is published. That means he went.
This is literally we're looking at it right now. Like this is
Mhm.
on the website.
Yeah, so he went to the paper company and said, "Hey, I have an obituary. I want you to put in," and that's room on their paper, so you have to pay for that space. It's like ad space.
I'm gonna write one of these for each of y'all that don't beat me out of this life. So actually, one time, well, I do this with my friends often. Like, I actually sent my friend a letter when he went to the army, right? And since I'm an asshole, it was his birthday, and I sent him a card, but it was a Mother's Day card. And so, yeah, and I wrote him a long letter as if he was.
A mom?
No, I wrote him a long letter, but the first paragraph was as if he was a mom, and out of pure confusion. So he opened it. It was actually in a pink card. It had glitter all over it. It was nice, and I wrote nice things in the letter as if he was a mom. But then there was another paper in between it, and that was a little bit more serious.
Oh.
But yeah,
okay.
but
that's a good friend prank.
Yeah, and so I know when he got it, he said I got it, and glitter fell out, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't hate him though.
Yeah.
I feel like writing a hate letter
I don't
takes
know.
a lot. And
Yeah.
also, I don't think my haters deserve that much energy.
That's
from
what
me.
I'm saying. I get why he did it. That's his father. You know, you want to do a release. Some random person that I'm maybe not on good terms with, I'm not going to about that. That's too
Yeah.
much.
My therapist told me to write a letter to my dad, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do that actually.
Did you?
One that you don't send, just
Huh?
one that you.
Man, I mean, you got a template.
No, he was like, if you just everything that you want to say, that you've ever wanted to say to him about how you feel, just write that down, as
Yeah.
an assignment.
I think that's a
And
good idea.
I was, he didn't say if I had to. I don't think he would have expected me to send that
Mm-hmm.
to him or give it to him in any way, shape, or form. It was just like an exercise, therapeutic, whatever.
Did your dad happen to work for the NYPD for 20 years?
No.
Do you live above Club Nashville? Possibly located in Nashville. We're
No.
still not clear on those details.
No, I'm not a faff.
Yeah.
You're not.
I mean,
you're not
I'm sure
from
there's
the
other people
Pafaf
that aren't faffs in
Pafaf.
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 But he told me to do it, and I was like, I can't make any promises about that, actually.
I feel like that's a decent exercise, though. I've done that before. I don't go to therapy. I definitely should. But I've written things down before that I'm not actually gonna send to people. But I do find it cathartic, and sometimes after you do it, you're I actually don't need to say it to that person. But it was just good to sort of
Just
get
release
it out. Yeah.
Did you ever light it?
No, but I know people who do that.
Yeah, I've heard and like thing for like not parents per se, but for like bosses or angry supervisors, like write like a message or write something like how you feel, what it is, and just don't send it to them. Just write it out, put it away, like whatever, or just like delete it after.
You know
Yeah.
that's
And I've heard so many people that like I wrote it, saved it in drafts, and didn't realize it's on a Google Drive. So the entire company read the drive note about this one manager that was
Ooh.
caught and shit. Yeah.
See, I'd just be doing an old-fashioned pen and paper.
Yeah.
Pen and paper.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Throw that
why
shit
that's why
away.
we have notes apps.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like so, but also
Google Drive.
if you're when it comes to like friends or significant others, if y'all are in the middle of an argument or not even an argument, let's say you're just upset and you have feelings that you want to get out, unintentionally I've like started writing like started a text, and then just didn't send it, and then been
Like to that person, like is it like if you
Yeah.
hit send, it's going to them?
if I hit send, it's going to them. So I gotta be very careful with my
Very-
phone at that
mhm.
point. And then I
Why?
just copy it all and then delete. No, I cut it, put it in my drafts, and I'm like in my notes. I'm like, all right, I don't think I need to.
You're a better man than me because I'm hitting send.
Yeah. See,
If it continues to bother me
Yeah.
after that,
Okay, that's
You
Then-
you go in the notes,
Yeah.
you grab the text,
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
like, listen, I
then
have
I have something to say.
You're a man living on the edge because normally I begin the composition in notes and then I move it over to the text once I've decided that it's all good and I've read it over a few times.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what's going on.
Yeah, I want to say once I wrote this fucking
Dissertation.
yes on my ex recently, the last ex I had, and a whole bunch just letting everything out, and I looked at it, and then the universe was like, "We got you, fam," and the phone died on me.
Wow.
Phone died on me, and I didn't realize my battery life, no nothing. I was like,
Were you gonna send it?
I don't know. I was
your sign not
I was
to.
in the anger
Yeah.
of like just
And then the thing about that is like, you charge your phone, it comes back on, and it's gone.
It's gone.
Like,
Yeah.
You just don't.
there was nothing there.
So it's like
yeah.
for you to even bother to try to
Oh,
write that
no.
over.
And like,
is like,
do I remember everything I said? Did I
No.
bring up on point? Did I remember on point?
And I have a question. Did,
Yeah.
did it like feel good that you got it out but it didn't send? Like what did it feel like after when did you
Uh,
like
The
turn on your phone expecting it to still be there so you can like
So when the phone died on me, I looked at it, and I like just put the phone down. I was like, no, it's whatever now.
Eric, you ain't know you was texting on 1%.
No, like when I say I was there for like
Negligent. No,
So
I'm
you was
sorry.
praying
No,
to God.
negligent.
No, Eric was just playing Pokemon Go on 10%, so I believe him.
No,
This is
I
crazy.
believe
My phone
him
is 10%.
too.
It's
I'm
crazy.
just like another man living on the
My
edge. I
phone's
don't
at
really
9% right
understand
now.
how y'all living out here.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just like I was just going in. I was
Okay.
literally and like all the anger I had, I'm just boom, boom. I was like, oh yeah, fucking. And I'm very stickler on like punctuation and grammar. So then I will
Going
edit
back
it.
to edit?
I'll-
Angry edit?
Edit-
Ooh,
edit on
should
top
be a
of myself.
semicolon there. I got you.
No, yes.
3
Like,
exclamation marks.
like I be doing stuff like that, and it was a huge thing where I typed so much you couldn't even see the text log,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm going and it just died on me. I was like, and then like at that moment, I was just like, fuck it, and just moved on.
Well, there you go. How do you think she would have felt if she got it?
Oh, tears. She would have cried.
Scathing.
Yeah, she would have.
Would have ethered her.
Yes, just called me nice.
I feel like you should talk again.
Oh my god. Yule is so
It's
messy.
like been 2 years, so
Eric is in a new relationship.
I'm very very happy with it.
Why
What that gotta do
you
with
been judge up bullshit?
it? I'm sure he found a new father. He just didn't need to get this one. Nah, but that's
A new faff.
new
New fact.
faffer. Oh man. But no,
That line that says,
I respect it
even
though.
evil dies eventually. Like that's.
I would just be like that I got saddled with this name. I don't want to be Faff Jr. I'm changing
The
my
fact
last
that he
name.
kept the
That's
name
what I'm saying. I would change my name.
is amazing.
Even if it's not my first name, just take my mother's name. Why am I a Faff?
Why am I perfect? No, ultimately I respect it though. like I said, this probably was so therapeutic to just be like, all right, it's out there.
Yeah.
He actually, I think, did an interview after, like, about it. But yeah, I'm proud of him. I'd have done the same.
You go, Lawrence
My dad
Jr.
doesn't deserve that
No.
kind of treatment as of yet.
No, as of yet.
I don't know what the future holds. So
Damn.
That's true.
Okay.
Anything can happen.
And you're also a junior.
I am.
Oh my
So
god.
am I.
See, at this point, I'm not getting rid of the name. It's too late. Like, I'm
Right,
established.
right.
But
Actually,
he
I
seems
think,
like it.
I think that's why he's like, by the time he's like in conscious thing of like, I can change my name. He's like,
it's been.
it's
I don't know. I
old
feel
enough,
like as a
like,
teenager, I would have at least been like, okay, I'm gonna go by my mother's maiden or
Yeah.
something.
Maybe. I know people that legally
also
will have
terrible
their name and
name.
just tell them a whole different name in general.
Yeah.
You can do that. I'm not a junior, but my dad's name is part of my name, and I hate my last name, so it's the whole thing.
Would you change it? Or take your mother's maiden? Okay.
I think at this point it's like, cause I think my mother's maiden name just as like a name, I like it more. But at the same time, I'm like, just based off of like family history, isn't even a better option.
Would you just make up your own last name? If you get married, would you take your partner's last name?
I'd probably hyphenate.
But you don't even like your last name. Just take.
Principle of
What do you mean?
That's a long last name, bro. Your
Yeah.
last name already is like decently long.
No,
How many letters? 9? 10?
Nice.
And then hyphen and then some more letters.
That's-
I don't know about that.
Listen,
my last
I've-
name's 8, so I'm right there. I feel you, bro.
I've had.
Oops.
Oh wow.
There you go.
I've been not offered, but I've been told that a hyphenate was gonna happen back in the past relationship. And I was like, sure. So I guess that's kind of just like I'm open to it. So, replacing. See, the thing is that like even though I don't like it, it's still my last name. So
Okay.
replacing it entirely.
Yeah.
is like,
That's what I'm saying. It was like it's an ownership thing. It's like
Maybe
no
that's
matter
a
what
cool
you do,
uncle.
it's mine. Like it is my last name.
but if I was to change it, yes, I would
Yeah.
just pick a new.
The new name. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that does have like other family though. Maybe his dad's just a deadbeat. His uncles are cool.
Yeah.
His aunts
I
are
don't
cool. He
know.
probably has like
I
a
would,
loving grandmother or
I would
something.
be
I don't know.
pretty
No, that's
ready to get
actually-
rid of
yeah,
fast.
never thought.
It's not one
Either
I was
way.
thinking. So.
Like either way, that name has to go.
Yeah. I'm
Like,
not changing
three-
mine though.
Like there's one vowel, 5 consonants, and 3 like unique letters in the name. That's
It's an ugly name.
It's-
You said you're not changing yours?
No.
Even if you get married, no
Mhm.
hyphenated,
Nope.
nothing.
what's my
And
name?
one of my kids is having my last name. Only one. My favorite.
How would you know they're your favorite?
I don't know. I'll figure it out. when
Yes.
they're stuck.
Yeah,
Yo.
right.
Yeah.
You said only one of your kids is having autism.
Yeah, though to be fair, I may only have one child because I'm having kids via surrogate, and that's expensive. So
And there's expensive.
maybe just that one child will have my last name.
Or you
And
can't
then
have twins.
the rest of the children will have.
The husband can have.
Do you know like your kids' names? Like, are you one of those people? Because if you
Well,
don't,
first of
I
all-
think Faf would make a good first name.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, you
What?
can.
You can
Yeah.
designate the last names to certain children.
Mhm.
Or whack you and
I'm gonna have them like fight to the death for whoever gets my last name. That's who mommy loves the most.
So they're both gonna have their
No,
father's
I-
last name until they're old enough and they've sharpened their knives. One's 18, one's
Yeah.
21.
They
You're like, all right.
trained and
Yeah.
then
Somebody's gonna throw them into the pit.
You
Yeah.
have youth, I have experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
I
I like it.
Mhm.
I like my last name. I used to be teased by my last name when I was younger because one letter away from Valentine.
Oh, that's cute.
So it's Valentin.
Damn, you're telling everyone your government.
I-
The rest of us are all big. Like our last name.
My
My
Facebook
last name.
is open for everyone.
I
You
got
can
you.
look me up.
Yeah.
And again, Eric Valentin is also many people's names.
Facts. Yeah, I like
I
your
tried-
last name.
Oh, mine's unique. There's 2 of us.
I believe
Really?
Me
it.
and
Yeah.
my dad.
Oh,
Yeah.
facts.
So I understand him. I understand Dash. I forgot your last name altogether.
That's okay.
But yeah, so I usually get teased by my last name. But at the same time, I loved like growing up in that family, like very strong family oriented. And if I take my mother's last name, then every Spanish household has my last name.
Right.
I'm good. It's a very, very generic last
Mhm.
name.
Lopez.
No.
See,
Which side does your last name come from? Because I
Mine.
feel like it's very.
No, I know what you're thinking. Yeah.
come from your mom?
No, my dad. And that's also the thing where it's like, I think when you're black, it's like, what kind of tie should I have to a last name that clearly came from a slave master, right?
Yeah, same.
But I'm not changing it. So.
Yeah, mine's is like quintessential American
Yeah.
slave name.
Yeah.
And yet, I have not seen any reparations, but
Mm.
it's another topic.
Mm-hmm.
For another
That's
time.
yeah. Oh, talking about reparations, did you see about the family that got back their beach house in like California?
I have seen that.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, the apparently family from like 100 years ago.
Wait. No, just tell the story. I had a lot of questions. I was like, wait, like a family of formerly enslaved people got back their beach
So,
house?
It wasn't a beach. It was a plantation house.
Oh, okay, that's where my confusion was. I was like,
Yeah.
who had a beach house?
So it's,
Yo, if you was a slave on the beach, that's
Yeah.
that's upper echelon
Yo,
slavery, I'm not gonna lie.
stop.
yeah, so basically
Miami
it was
slave.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
yeah, it was
You bugging right now.
what's it called? He gets so basically like his family
Beach slave.
owned.
Fucked up. Sorry, Eric, go ahead.
No,
Bringing out
not
bottles to the house.
not this one. No, not plantation house. There was one
That sound
in
like a
California
Miami
where
plantation house. No, I'm sorry.
no, there was one in California I was reading where
Shut up.
that's comedy. What's it called? That his descendants, like his great grandparents, the state seized the property, seized it and made it into this big hotel and stuff, and like the state took it away, and after 100 years, the state realized, we took it away because of racism and like they used eminent domain
Mm-hmm.
and like just mad aggressive like tactics against, and then gave them back to the family, and now, see look, right there, black families California land was taken from a century ago. The descendants just got it back.
Oh, so there was another one in California. Is what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
So
Wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, they like I was saying, it was a whole beach house resort type thing, was taken by eminent domain, and then California State looked into the history and was like, yeah, that's so fucked up. They did all this racist and like political shit, and the descendants of those people, they gave it back, full on tax free type thing, and now they have that whole what's it called? That whole space, and they said they're gonna use it for like. Not rehabilitation, but some other thing. That's really cool.
They better not be buying slaves. I know that.
That's not how that just.
No, but that's honestly super cool. Have y'all seen that episode of Atlanta?
I was literally gonna bring that up. Yes.
Is it season 3?
It's the latest
Yeah.
season.
Spoilers. I haven't watched season.
All right, so to spoil Eric, not messing around now. Like I'm not really gonna get into
I
like, the
feel
details of
like
it, but it was
you
a
could-
reparations episode.
Yeah, it's about.
Okay.
It's also it has no. It's like one of the episodes that's like not related to the main cast. It's like a side episode about
Okay.
like
Okay. I feel that.
Yeah, but it was interesting because the episode generally was about like reparations and like how it could work, but in like the weirdest way. It was like basically like if you were like a descendant of a slave owner or something, like like they found this family who owned a plantation, like a percentage of what they were making went back to like people that
that's
family that they
okay.
enslaved. It was,
I like that.
interesting
That's
concept.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to really watch it. I have to watch a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I'm just backed up on that stuff.
The interesting thing about that episode was, like you said, it was based on like your familial history and if you're like descended from slave owners. But I would say if we think about the legacy of slavery in this country, right, black people who aren't necessarily American are still affected by the legacy of slavery here. Just like white people who aren't necessarily American still benefit from the legacy of slavery. So what I'm trying to say is all you white people should be paying reparations. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Mom.
I'm crying.
Starting with Margaret's
Except
mom.
my mom, she's Jewish. Except Jewish people. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, Jewish people too.
All white people, but not these. Maybe some. No, that's cool.
And the exception of this white type person, they're going back down.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think the reparations should come from the government.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they ain't never gonna happen. So.
We didn't have the reparations episode.
Not the way things are going.
Yeah, no, right?
Just waiting for U.S. to blow up somehow. So.
Damn, we
No,
gonna
well,
get
I'm
flagged.
good, bro.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I get it.
When
The
I say-
establishment, but I gotta be here when it happened.
You mean metaphorically blow up?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
metaphorically blow up.
I
Because
think
like,
that's already happening.
yeah, a lot of like social and racial discourse, a lot of people not accepting basic facts and like things we can prove in the world, and like the internet is such a beautiful place, but when you have a small opinion and you're like, oh, someone else believes in what I believe, it has to be true. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
Like, there's many things that could be like people really believe that the Civil War was for states' rights.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what right was the states having? Like, the states to have rights. For what? They're like, no, they can make their own laws. And they really don't understand that it was for slavery.
Yeah, the way history is told is interesting depending on where you stand and where you actually are,
Right,
especially
right.
in America. But I have a question now. Do you think there's too much access to information?
I had an argument.
That's a good question, right?
Yeah, I didn't have.
Because there's so much misinformation,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? Like literally so much.
I think it also limits critical thinking and processing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
At points, yeah.
this is gonna sound so. I'm a teacher, and one thing I noticed about my students, they are really bad at cheating. Like they are stupid with it. Like literally circle back to Google Docs. They were doing this thing with their homework where one person would be submitting the homework to me and then would try to share access of the Google Doc to one of their classmates so the classmate could see their homework answer. And then I get a request for the doc to be shared between the students. I'm like, y'all can't even like screenshot, copy and paste anything. You know what I'm saying? You're like literally taking the laziest option possible. So these are students whose their generation completely grew up with technology, completely grew up with like all the answers and all these like abilities and stuff. And I think I don't want to say that it made them dumb because I don't think this generation is stupid, but it made them like kind of
a little bit lazier, I think.
Yeah, and I think that they didn't have to develop certain processing or like critical thinking skills of like, hey, if this is the easiest way to do it, right? But my teacher's gonna fucking see.
There's definitely a lack of common sense and awareness.
Like,
yes.
There's lack of common sense, awareness. I don't think they know that you're gonna get a notification.
No, they know. They should know how Google Doc works.
No,
they grew up
I don't
with
think
Google
they
Docs.
do know.
Sometimes,
and
whether you
the funny
grow up
part
with
is-
something, because you can grow up with something and still not know how it works.
Right.
It happens in every generation.
Yeah.
But
if everybody has, you guys all know if everyone has access to a Google Doc, you can see what happens with the Google Doc, right?
Yes.
And if you are the owner of a Google Doc, if someone wants to share it, then you get a request.
But
we all know that.
But they
right?
believe
I think the request access button also says, like, are you sure? Like, or you have to ask this person for permission. So I think they're clicking like on you to like give someone else permission to see.
Yeah.
It. So either they're
or like
a little bit dumb, or they just don't respect you at all. It's like, we're gonna cheat. It's fine. She's cool with it.
See,
I mean, I don't know why they would feel that way when I would fail them.
What I think is that they believe they're the owner of the document now.
Yeah.
Because Google Docs never makes that clear. It doesn't even say like unless you look up properties, like who's the creator of the document. You won't know it, so you're like, oh, I filled in the answers.
Yeah,
I did that,
own
so
copy.
it's my doc, so I'm gonna give it to them first, and then share it with you. But you being the original
you
publisher,
fail them?
we're like,
No, I would be like, hey, your answers look. I didn't say like, oh, I saw that you shared the Google Doc. I was like, hey, your answers are very similar to this student, and they were probably like, oh my god, how did she remember through all of these different papers that she created the similarities? Because I know exactly you know what I'm saying.
What kind of class?
It was an English class, so it was really like.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Because anytime, like, I never cheated in like school, like for math or science or anything like that. And then when a teacher came up to like, your answers look very familiar to this other person's answers. I'm like, it's math.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, math and science are actually
yeah,
subjects you can't cheat
It's the
in.
exact
Like,
same.
who cares?
It's the exact same answer,
Yeah.
no matter how you do it.
Right.
We're using the same process to get it too.
Yeah, like
it's gonna look exactly
you
the same.
taught me this, and I'm using like that. English and like anything that you have to write words or like express an opinion, I could understand like, yo, this is a clearly a 1-for-1.
Right.
But any other subject, they're like, how did you get the same answers as this? It's multiple choice.
Right.
I could guess. It still got the same answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess to circle back to your original question, yeah, I think I'm not gonna say there's too much access to information, but maybe there's not enough. Like maybe we're not teaching people the skills of how to process and reason that information or interpret it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think, you know what, and this is like an interesting thing, like, because I think Facebook messed up a lot of us, especially like in our generation, not even saying like the next generation. I think TikTok and other things are messing them up. But Facebook definitely messed us
Right.
up, especially when like, you know, people could just share articles and you like never looked at it. It was all title based and you just share whatever.
share
Right.
I have a friend that is notorious for sharing things with me that are highly inaccurate, and I'm like, bro, please stop.
So what?
We all have that.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
every time. So
That friend is my mom.
Is it
Well,
a mutual
internet-
between us?
huh?
Is it a mutual between us?
You know him, but no, it's not a mutual. I don't think. I think you've met him though.
Okay.
But yeah, and I'm always like, can you stop? And also like sometimes I click on his article to like scroll down somewhere. I'm like, you know, this was just the title. That this is not what it's saying.
Yeah.
Right? It's,
I know a lot of people that do that.
I've done that too though. So
No,
it's,
facts.
I feel like we've all
I
been
think
there.
No,
when
exactly.
I think when, and that's what the case is, that you now have that awareness, right? Because people will just like share, and there hasn't been any callback or call out or repercussion on just sharing. They're like, oh, clearly what I'm releasing is still good, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when like people share different articles and stuff. The first thing I do is, what's the date?
Mm-hmm.
What's the article date?
Right.
Because people are like, oh my God, did you see this? This is crazy that
Right.
this happened in the
This
world.
person died. Yeah, that was 2016.
Right.
Like,
I've
and I-
definitely done that. I like reposted
And
shit
like
for,
I've clicked
5 years ago.
it and see the article date, and I'm like, please check the article date. Like I always comment, like just look at the art. Like someone posted something in like 2014, like man in New York got robbed and and like this is crazy. The police are out here doing extra stuff. I'm like, when did this happen? Look,
Damn, Eric
What?
put people on blast. You can't
Oh.
private message someone and be like, yo,
nah.
check that date.
On the TL,
Right.
right there,
Right.
wrong.
No, because other people need to see it. You know what I mean?
Because then now they're gonna click it, and they might not think
Right.
check the article date. They read it and be like, did
not
you
even
hear
click
that?
it. They're just looking at the comments. They look at the title and the comments and be like, oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Okay.
And then also, in addition to the date, they need to like just scroll to the bottom and see like satire or like
Oh
the,
my
the,
god, don't
the,
get me started on this.
you know,
Because the onion,
the sources or the actual links that
Yeah.
are, you know what I mean? Because then it's like, I remember that y'all know this article. The article where like it said like Kanye played a bunch of kids in wheelchairs and scored like 100
What?
points or some shit.
nah.
I never saw that, but I want to,
It's a-
and I'm gonna share
It's
it.
a very popular article of Kanye playing basketball with a bunch of disabled kids and he was destroying them. And I'm looking through the comments and people are like in outrage, like, oh my god, I knew he was bad and narcissistic, but this is another level. And I'm just like, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way y'all really like, come on, like people really just run away with shit without like any sort of
I don't know why I see
critical
it.
thinking.
Oh
I
my
see
god.
it though. It's a good lie. I see it.
Oh.
If anyone, who?
No,
If
that's,
anyone,
That's
pick
fair.
another
very
person.
fair.
That's
That's
Kanye West.
You got
Yeah.
it. You
But
got
where
it.
would this have happened? And you really
Right.
Listen,
come
any
on.
gym that he was available to show up in, alright?
yeah.
I'm putting it on Kanye's back.
Nah, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. Come on. Come on.
It would be like a skit, a really good skit about
Yeah, it would be an SNL skit if I
Right.
Yeah,
remember now,
definitely.
Damn.
Oh, that shit is like.
But yeah, it's just so many, like, you're right, like, I think, it's just weird because I think that we've all been on the internet long enough that too many of us don't know how to just, like, do very simple, like, checks or put pieces together like that is probably not real or that can't be possible.
Right.
I think everything should be taken with a grain of salt. Like, people just, like, are too quick to believe some shit.
Yeah.
And like Yule said, like we've all been duped before. We've all like jumped to
Yeah.
conclusions.
For sure, yeah.
Just read a title and was just like, that's the whole article.
Yeah.
But like, not enough people are actually going to the article to read it, to look at the date, to look at who wrote it.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. I don't I'm
Yeah.
not sure, like, there's not like a master class of like how to like navigate the internet, but
I don't think there'll ever be a master class.
Yeah, and
But,
I
like-
think that's where my point
but
comes from.
there's
Like, it's
gotta-
kind of scary though,
but-
because
but-
anyone can write anything and
Yeah.
just post it on the internet. And if I don't write satire on the bottom or whatever, or I actually truly believe something that's completely false, how do you ever like? How do you ever filter that?
which is why I'm not mad at Eric for putting people on blast, because that's the only way they're gonna learn. Like that's the only way other people learn, because other people see their friends post these things and they have the same stupid thoughts,
Yeah.
and then like or like the same ideas or the same way of moving or processing things, and so they also need to see that and be like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. Maybe next time I'll take this into account when I look at an article or see something outrageous.
Solid discussion.
Right. Speaking of leaving NYC, no, I'm joking. That's the worst transition ever. I'm just gonna do that. Like I feel like that's gonna be our theme for the past podcast. We're gonna just like do the most horrible transitions of all time when we switch topics. All right.
We had a really good one before.
Oh yeah.
Is
it
there
was.
any reason to leave New York City other than to escape an abusive faff? Is there any other reason to go to
A father.
to go to Jacksonville, Florida?
That's crazy.
Fucking Jacksonville.
Yeah. So let's. Y'all want to make teams? We do team pro, team con.
Is anyone pro leaving New York?
This is what debate team style, like because
Okay.
Are any of y'all pro leaving New York?
Yeah.
All right. So he's on team pro.
Ew.
So you're on Team Con.
Yes.
I'm not saying that I would.
You're
I'm
on
just
Team
saying.
Pro.
there are
No, I'm
benefits
on
to
Team
it.
No,
Con.
There
Con.
are benefits.
Yes, there are.
The only tangible benefits.
All right. Wait. Go. Yeah.
The
Go
only
ahead.
only tangible benefits.
Wait, so you're on team pro? All right,
No,
cool.
no,
I'm
no,
on team
no,
con.
no, I'm
No,
on team
you're
con.
already. So why are you
I'm on
arguing
team
for the other team right
I'm
now?
not arguing for the other team.
All right, so
I just
you're
want-
you
I
guys
just-
are on team pro. All right, we're on
No,
team
no,
con.
no,
Sounds
no,
good.
no, no,
All right,
no,
well, let's do it. Go ahead, team pro.
We're
Go for it.
pro, right? I'm
Yeah.
Team Pro.
Yeah.
As in why we should stay in New York.
No.
I'm
Let's not,
pro
let's not.
stay in New York.
No, we're
You're
pro.
What are
con,
the-
just
what
stay
are
in
the
New
the
York.
topic is
pros?
leaving NYC. You're pro.
No,
Pros
no,
of
no.
leaving NYC, cons of leaving
Yeah,
NYC.
there you go.
Pro, Eric.
So
No,
now,
I'm actually
so now it's just can we talk about it versus Derek?
Derek, yeah, that's crazy.
Derek is
Oh, I
alive.
like that.
I like that.
What about Yashler? No? Okay.
Derek it is.
Yashler Foss. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Why are we still
What a
using
name. I just never forget it. Okay.
What you were saying?
I guess I'm on Team Pro. Early disclaimer for everyone that's watching. I don't want to leave New York. I love this city so much. I've been to many other cities in the country, but New York just has not just the allure, but my childhood, and there's so much to do, so much to discover. Every day is an adventure. So
You're doing a little too much con talk, Eric, so go ahead. Argue your side.
So the only tangible pro that I see is the value, right? The amount of rent we pay. Rent across the board is ridiculous. Recently, our friend Christian, he was like, yeah, I found in a different state a house I can buy that I pay rent in an apartment for.
Yeah.
So I was looking like 4 years ago, yeah, in Atlanta, a freaking one-door garage house, like full thing, was $18.40 a month.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, and I could probably pay $2 to live in Satan's asshole. Would I do that? You could not pay me to move to like fucking Missouri. You could tell me I'm gonna give you an
misery.
extra.
That's how you pronounce
yes,
that.
There we go.
To live
there
in
we
misery.
go.
So that's a pro, is how cheap it is everywhere else. Another pro would be the fact that you don't have to live like day by day of like crackheads,
In squalor.
homeless people.
Listen, Yule knows.
How-
I fuck with the crackheads.
How they didn't you watch a knife fight recently?
Yo,
They were not crackheads.
that was
They were-
literally today. That was today.
No, today.
Did you record it?
No, the bus got in the way.
Not a
we
real
drove.
one.
This was very interesting. It was. I
Margaret,
walked
you-
up on it.
You playing a lot of team pros right now, right?
No.
Don't tell them about the.
All right, never mind. Never mind. All right.
I'm just saying.
No one
Alright,
got
no.
stabbed.
Crime-
Run away.
Yeah, of course. Crime rate collectively in New York vastly outweighs like the more calmer and quieter states, right? So if you're looking for a quiet state where that's your thing, not really my thing. If that's your thing to be like, I want to just be in peace, I could work from home, I can do what I need to do. New York is not that place. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go to the store. Granted, you could walk to the store. I'm being asked about 8 times if I have $1. 2 people asking for Lucy's, and someone tried flipping me their new DVD and mixtape.
Yeah, because there's culture here, man. That's
100%.
That's
100%.
yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
want. Don't you, is that what you
That's
want?
not culture, that's harassment.
The
It's a
amount.
culture
It's a
of
culture of
harassment.
harassment.
Dash.
It's a culture of harassment.
Where is HR?
Who do we go?
It's Eric
Eric
Adams, so
Adams?
good luck.
Yeah, he's not responding.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
You would know.
No,
Ooh.
listen. No
Cousin
relation.
Eric.
No relation. All right.
Cousin
As we were
Eric.
talking about last names earlier, all right, we
Woo.
both have slave names, and his family was way deeper in the game than mine was. All right. If I find out Eric Adams has like Guyanese roots, I'm gonna be sick to my stomach.
Bro, maybe he.
Don't look it up. I
Ah,
said
look it
it.
up.
Don't you dare.
I'm always down for information.
But yeah, cons are you're gonna be bored.
Yeah,
All right. I think happiness is important.
it is.
It's I think over priority of anything else in
Hey,
life.
but where are you talking about going?
What?
Where are you talking about going?
Anywhere.
Anywhere?
Yeah. Honestly, even something you think of as another major city, I don't think anywhere like, at least in the States, but even abroad,
Yeah.
because I've gone to other cities where shit is just not as accessible. Like, once you live here, like, in terms of culture, in terms of just ease and ability, like, there's just not, like I want to go at 4 a.m. and get a sandwich. Anywhere else, good fucking luck. Boston has, like, 2 operating diners at 2 a.m.
That's a
Like,
fact. You know what's crazy? Anytime I've been outside of New York in the continental United States, I've felt like almost an anxiety. I maybe have New York Stockholm syndrome, but that's fine because it's like a good Stockholm syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And because you get up there and it's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and you're like, what's the move? And they're like, the move is to be here. Let's watch a movie and eat some popcorn. It's like,
Yeah.
you boring fucks.
Yeah.
I don't want
The
to
move is
be here.
bedtime.
You're good.
Yeah.
He is fully only African American.
Whew. Yeah, that's the other Adams.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like New York is like lively, and
Right.
you know what's crazy? New York today is a shadow of what it used to be,
Right.
which
right.
is insane because
'Cause
New
it's
York
still
is still
lit as
popping
fuck.
24/7. It's still the city that never sleeps. A pandemic couldn't take it out.
Mhm.
That's
Like
the crazy
it's
part.
literally
Mhm.
nuts that there's always something to do. If I wanted to wake up at
There's
3,
always something to do.
if I wanted to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, I could find something
Facts.
open. I could find at least a couple of establishments open.
Facts.
I could not guarantee you that for any
No.
of the city. I could at least find
Yeah.
a deli. I could just go get a drink. I could do something.
Yeah.
Definitely in LA.
No, 2 a.m. is last call in LA. No, 1:30 is last call in LA. They
if
closing at 2 a.m.
If you wanna
Major
talk-
metropolitan
if
city.
you want to talk about that, then Louisiana, they don't have a last call.
All right, and
No.
that's fine. But you know what else they don't have? Everything else New York has.
You know what else they have? Major institutional racism. Like
Yes.
higher level than we got
100%.
here.
But now that's
DC.
Boy, I know you did not say DC.
Don't.
DC.
There's
Don't
mad
say
shit
that.
to do in DC.
and then my thing
Like
is
storm the Capitol.
Right.
That's it.
There we go.
It's one of the
Also
main
an early
attractions.
closing time. When I
Not
was
that far into DC.
when I was a teenager, I went to DC for like it was like a political like sleepaway camp thing. It was actually super weird because they put us into factions based on political party, and we were like 14 or 15 years old. But
Your actual political party?
yeah.
Didn't you guys all come from New York? So it was like what, two
No.
Republican
It
kids
was
and then like
we were
all
drawn
out?
from all over the country, and then
Oh,
we
okay,
got
okay.
we went to DC.
And then y'all started
We
volunteering
had one
and
who
shit.
was a libertarian. He was so outcast. I liked him. Shout out Charles. Hi. Anyway,
remember his name and everything.
I have him on Facebook. So,
Oh, what's up, Charles?
yeah, he was cool as fuck. But yeah, I remember that we had to visit our representative, like our
state
district.
representative?
Yeah, like one of our state whoever represents like your district in New York. And they fucking confiscated my perfume that I wore to smell nice for my representative. Who, they like, they mismatched me So they told me my representative was Anthony Weiner, which it was
No, he
not.
wasn't.
He wasn't.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. So I went to Anthony Weiner's office. They confiscated my perfume, and then the man told me that I was not his representative.
Thank God.
Yeah,
I
they were
would-
like, listen,
No, I don't.
you don't need to smell good for that.
I don't know if
Yeah.
Anthony Weiner. This was like literally a few weeks before he got caught up the first time. So I was like, "Karma, bitch," because he was mad rude to me. He was like, "I don't know why they sent you here. I'm not your representative." And I was like, "All right,
I'd be rude too if my last name was Wiener.
feisty."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
There
why
ain't
you
no
smell-
fab.
Ain't no
but-
fab.
Ain't no fab.
My point. That was my first time going to DC, and I was like, "Man, I hate it here."
How long?
What does that have to do with the nightlife?
No,
Nothing.
listen, DC has a very strong day party scene. I actually went recently for a quote unquote DC brunch, which is apparently a phenomenon, and it was cool. But it has definitely more of a daytime party scene. It closes down early at night, and you know what? I was so hungry. No, listen. I went to visit my friend and my cousin in DC. Right? I left the same night after we had gone out on the mega bus. So I'm at like the bus train station, and I'm like, I'm so hungry, I'm gonna buy something at the bus train station before I get on my bus. Everything was closed. Every eating establishment in the bus train station that had buses and trains leaving overnight was
What
closed.
time is it?
It was 11:50 p.m.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like that would be like if everything around Penn Station and Port Authority was closed.
Because most things in DC you're supposed to close around like 3.
Well, they don't dash.
And I know ours is like 4.
Yeah.
Not a big difference, but.
And then you got the AFTIs, which I don't believe they got in DC.
What?
The AFTIs, Eric.
Canada does.
What's that?
Okay, we're not talking about Canada.
Are we not? We're talking about anywhere outside of New
Listen,
York.
Canada was on lockdown for like 2 years, so their nightlife scene is a mess right now. I went to Montreal recently. It's wild. They have like, you know how it was in New York, like immediately when things started opening back up and things were not fully staffed and no one knew how to organize anything anymore. That's where Canada's at right now, because they were on lockdown for so much longer.
Drake,
Not
as
everybody-
president of Canada, you need to get your shit together
Wait,
and
what's
get
the
Canada
AFTIs?
back in order.
AFTIs is after hours.
Yeah, like parties that start
Wait,
at like 5.
So
in
we
the
call
morning.
them AFTIs?
Yeah.
Yes, Eric.
I've never called them AFTIs.
Yes, we call them AFTIs.
Who's we?
Who's we?
We.
Who is we?
The
The
AFTI
people.
culture.
The
We
AFTI
the
culture.
people.
We the people? Okay. You must go to DC. No.
They don't
Listen,
have
not-
I've heard a lot
not-
of good things
not
about
everything-
DC, but I've heard better things about New York.
Not
That's all.
everything has to be predicated on like, oh, it's like first of all you should be in your home. Like y'all mixy as hell. Y'all a little too mixy.
Oh,
That's the
listen,
problem.
Dash. I know you're not smoking because you be everywhere, Dash.
Dash.
I don't be everywhere.
Yes, you do.
That's crazy.
I don't be
Dash
everywhere.
is a homebody.
I don't be where y'all be. At.
Like on some real.
Yeah, no, you be somewhere else. You be in the real underground spots. You be in the trenches,
Yeah,
Dash.
Yeah, that's
That's so
for
crazy.
sure.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Every time I check your story, I'll be like, oh, look at here.
Okay, let's talk about the
Another
time I
one.
ran into
Another
Dash
one.
and Eric on the corner dressed as bunnies. Let's talk about that. No.
Oh, yeah, I remember
I was not dressed as a bunny.
Wait. Sorry.
First of all, you didn't see me.
Only Eric was dressed as a bunny.
What
but
were you
I
dressed as
couldn't-
that
What were you
I
dressed
wasn't
as?
dressed as
You wasn't
anything.
dressed
I had
as
on a
anything.
jersey and a hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Real
and
nigga
we
shit.
in the trenches. We in the trenches.
Yeah.
How is going to a cosplay party the trenches?
Dash was clearly dressed for the trenches, so I don't know where y'all went after
I
that.
was-
But probably to the afties. Probably the cosplay
Nah,
afties.
you
Nah,
I
know,
feel like,
you know
I
what
feel like that's
time
a
that-
rhetorical question.
you know
like,
what time that party ended? At 5. So I went
There
home.
we go. You were in the afties, Eric. It was
started-
after 4 a.m.
it
You were
start-
at the afties.
It started before 4.
It don't matter. It extends.
Wait, it
it's now the
extends.
afties.
It's now the afties.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how that works.
It's
Most places don't stay open till 5 a.m., bro. That's
Yeah.
afty as hell.
The party didn't go till 5. That's just when we got home.
What time the party went to? 4:30?
No, like 4.
Nah, you lying because you live like 5 minutes away from that spot. What you talking about?
No, we stayed behind.
You stay behind.
We stayed
I,
behind.
I know the people
It's
that
a
They for,
party
do
in-
the,
stuff.
they for the streets, though.
Yeah,
Forget that.
okay.
Oh,
We
Mixed
stayed behind and helped out.
Please.
Yeah, would y'all help close up the DJ booth? What-
No,
what
we
y'all
were.
do?
I mean, we were talking to some people. We were talking to the
Was
DJs.
King
Oh, okay.
Some of the
So y'all were.
Y'all
at
some of the
the
hoes.
afties.
Some of the hoes?
No.
hosts.
Oh.
The hosts, not the hoes.
But also the hoes.
There was,
But not
Although,
those.
although sometimes
Eric,
same people.
Eric was a bunny. You're not telling me.
Eric was 2 people that night. What was your other costume?
There was
No, that was the other one.
Oh, that was
Outfit
the other
change?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did outfit change at
Nah,
another
outfit
party.
change at a party.
I
is
came-
Crazy.
Listen,
Yeah,
go
so
see if
check
you
this
could
out.
go to Louisiana and okay, now that was a bad example. See if you could go to
I will.
Alabama
I
and do an outfit change for work.
Alabama.
I
No
can't.
one's choosing to go there.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
no,
what
no,
y'all
no.
dancing to?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
In Alabama.
At Alabama? It
Name
has-
one Alabama rapper.
What's it? Ryan Charles. Bitch.
No one knows who that is.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Anyway,
I'm
tell your
not-
other
I'm
story,
sorry,
Eric,
right now.
that you were gonna tell us.
Is
No,
it good?
don't play it.
No.
We're gonna get
Fine. Look at-
copyrighted.
Just look
After
at
this,
Ryan.
after this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty.
All right.
Shout out to Ryan
Um,
Charles.
Tell us the story.
think-
that you were
Oh,
gonna
I've
tell
never
us.
heard your music, but-
What is it called? The one I did the outfit change was at the next party. I dressed up as Snorlax first from Pokemon,
Cute.
and then yeah, cool, we're partying, and then coming towards like midnight where the twerk contest happens, I changed into Mario because Mario loves Peach.
That's when you became
So-
TikTok famous, right?
But you've done it before
Oh,
too.
wait, so you were here for the twerk contest. Wait, did you not hear the bar? My man said I changed to Mario for the twerk contest because Mario loves Peach.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Check out his new mixtape coming soon.
He's better than Ryan Charles.
Yo, I'm already.
Nah, but like you've done the change another time too before. But I don't remember the one.
Bro, just be ripping off Superman
That's
shirts
honestly-
and nobody's business.
Atlanta be
Atlanta be.
Atlanta be wild.
But Atlanta's a like very weird place.
Atlanta's
You
not New
gotta-
York.
You have to drive around. to
Atlanta
get
is
to-
comparable to one borough, if anything. Like, this is New York, son.
That's fair.
Right.
Fair. Are you going to Staten Island Square like that?
No, but I got
So-
listen,
No,
I'll even give it to Queens before I give it to Atlanta. I am not doing that.
he will even give it to you.
Yep.
But yeah,
Look
no,
at
Look at
the
the
thing
smile
with
that
Atlanta
has.
is like,
Margaret, don't take such a backhanded compliment.
listen, you gotta jump around.
There's a war, inner war here happening here. Don't worry about it.
Yule has just recently started discovering that he likes Queens and he's not comfortable with
Really?
it. But he's
That's
gonna,
not what I said. My words were misconstrued.
What did you say?
Sound like a
He
real
said that he
did.
wanted to go to Queens.
Sound like a real
He said he
ad.
wanted
I
to
did.
go
My
to
word
Queens.
I did. Look, see, this is like when like politics drag you down and like the mess. Remember when we were talking about articles and you read the headline, but that's
Yeah.
not what it really said.
Oh,
He said he wanted to go to Queens.
I did. I said I wanted to go to Queens to watch the fight because Queens has good bars to watch UFC fights.
wait.
End
did
of
he-
sentence.
But then, on a second occasion, aka last night,
Mm-hmm.
they joined me for an outing in Queens after going somewhere else in Brooklyn and deciding it wasn't the vibe. Because it'd be hard to find the vibe in Brooklyn, I understand.
That's not
Brooklyn.
Sometimes you gotta go to
Brooklyn.
Queens.
Brooklyn is a
but you know
vibe
what, Dash?
in
I thought you
itself.
didn't go outside like that.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't say that.
Brooklyn-
Brother, say back.
Brooklyn is always a vibe.
Always.
That's one.
I don't know about
Yeah.
that.
It's always a vibe.
Margaret, how often
Why
do you
you
go to
here?
Brooklyn?
Why you here so much then?
Because this was funny because Yule reposted us, like, we were going back and forth on our stories about this
I
topic.
saw.
And Yule said something about, like, that I'm here every single week and no one forces me.
Yeah.
I
She
work
works here.
here! Yeah!
By choice.
It's not a
Margaret
choice.
has 2 jobs.
I have 3 jobs. And 2 of them are in Brooklyn. And that's not a choice.
The hustle.
That's not a choice.
You're better than me.
But also-
I used to have three
Also,
jobs.
Margaret is often in Brooklyn, not for her job.
I actually feel like I do mostly come when I have work. I don't really come outside of that. Like, even when I go
But-
out in Brooklyn, it's
But then
usually
how about the
because
fact?
after
But then how about the
work.
fact that your work is literally being outside?
That's not
That's your job. Your job is to be outside.
You know what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
We're gonna catalog through Margaret's stories and count the amount of time she was in Brooklyn.
Count the amount of time I'm in Brooklyn when I wasn't already working. in
None of your
Brooklyn
stories are
that day.
at work.
No, but it's usually that I go out after work.
In Brooklyn?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. You could really just get back to Queens because from her job to Astoria where we went is literally a 15-minute drive.
Yeah, but the thing
You can
is,
escape very easily.
if
You
this-
love it here, Margaret.
no, let me
It's
tell
really-
you, if
love
I'm
it.
taking one Uber. I'm not taking like one Uber to one spot and then an Uber to another.
Yeah, and that Uber spot you can go to is in Queens. You can just go back.
But then I have to then take an Uber from the spot in Queens. To
But then you're gonna have to go to Uber in the spot in Brooklyn and then eventually go back to Queens
no,
anyway.
usually when I go to Brooklyn, I take the G train because it's right there and it goes into like Williamsburg and all those other spots.
Well, convenient trains in Brooklyn. How about Queens?
Listen, boy, we're working on our train problem, but
Yeah, not a single one.
Does it? Yeah.
that's why we're not gentrified yet. So
Oh.
The story was gentrified. We were there last night. It was
Sorry, I'm sorry. The spot we read in the story last night you felt was gentrified.
yes,
The hookah bar with a nary a white fella in sight.
yes.
Okay.
Just because they employ the colors doesn't mean it's owned by the colors.
Check this out.
That's true, especially
It's
because
probably owned
like
by some Middle Eastern people.
As
There's a hookah bar in Queens. That's what we own in the hookah bars in
it
Queens.
could be gentrified during the day.
It's you'll be real. Did that place seem like it would be gentrified during the day? With
I'm
the bitches
saying-
walking around with the BBLs? You think that place was gentrified during the day?
I give it that.
Walking
Thank
around
you.
with BBLs in that one spot, or just all around town.
That area, that specific part of the story room is not gentrified. I was actually going to recommend
sentence.
let me
That's a
let me tell you.
spot
I was gonna
in the entirety
recommend
of a
if
spot.
Anika, our friend Anika, invited us out. If she didn't get back to us, there was another spot I was gonna recommend in the more gentrified area because I wanted you guys to feel comfortable.
Oh wow.
So I was trying to take you
That's
to a
crazy.
place that would be more
Are
recognizable
you
to
saying
you as
that you're
home.
more hood than you?
Wow.
So you want to
Do I have to
That's-
say
so-
it?
that's-
I think
so
it might
wait,
be.
wait, hold it
Okay.
down, hold it down, hold it down.
Let's talk about this Queen spot, right?
Wait,
No,
went
before
there
I
last night.
before you get to that, you wanted to take them to a place where people would look more like
You,
What do you mean? A place.
half of you. With
We
your,
were
your
with
brethren.
Zach.
She had options, right? She
We
had
were with
options
Zach.
Are you?
Zachary,
She had
a
an option for
white
me and she had an
man.
option for
Are you-
Zach.
are you-
No, that's actually what it was. No, I literally was like, I did ask this like to myself. I was like, okay, I don't know if Zach had fun the last time, so let me think of a bar that Zach.
and did he have fun?
I think he had fun,
This
right?
this bar though, it was cool. DJ was cool. He played a lot of Latin music and half Brooklyn drill.
He was
No
going
way.
through.
Really?
He was going through.
No. There was quite a few tunes, and he came back like a couple times. Like he
Mm.
skipped, he came back. I did not hear 9-1 50 Cent or Ja Rule tune. Not even a Nicki Minaj.
We don't
Not
know
even
what
LL?
Not even
Or
a LL,
Nas?
a Nas. Nope.
Whoa.
Just drill. Just everybody doing this, just all night. It was really.
Listen, that's because
There was
we're
also
welcoming.
7 people in the spot.
It was pretty empty, but
Just pop
yeah.
the 5-year.
Well, that makes sense. It's Queens, so like you couldn't find
you know what?
a
That's
spot
fine.
in Brooklyn.
Y'all could be
with only 7
overcrowded
people.
and priced out. Enjoy that. Enjoy that.
No,
It's
we're
coming out. It's
overcrowded.
coming your way.
We're
That's
over-
just too far.
We're overcrowded
I like being too far
and
You like being too far
slightly
from
expensive.
from whatever the fuck is going on here in y'all's fucked up borough. Okay, that's what I like being
Listen,
too far.
I appreciate
Aren't
that
you
you
from the
have
Bronx?
deep
I'm from
Queens
Queens.
pride the way I have deep
Oh,
Brooklyn
you lived in the
pride.
Bronx at one point.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
And I this is actually not me being a hater. I genuinely prefer the Bronx to Brooklyn. I do.
Why?
I think that the Bronx still has retained like all of its New York culture. I think it's a really interesting place. I think the history of the Bronx is super resilient and super interesting.
Resilient history is what we're going with now today, guys.
You sound like
And
you
I
just
like-
got here.
I like the people in the Bronx better.
You sound like
You sound like you
'Cause they're
read
not,
the
like,
script
Isn't
of
your
a
best
white
friend
person
from
that
Brooklyn?
just found the Bronx. Like that sounded like a
I-
gentrification speech.
No, like what I prefer about the Bronx is that it hasn't been gentrified yet by like
Yeah,
you know.
it says every person who gentrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you just move there from Queens?
I lived there for a year.
Destroy its culture when you
First
lived
of
there?
all, if you want to talk about birthright, my family lived in the Bronx in the 70s.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Getting off at Grand Concourse, like, oh, it's still colorful.
well.
You know
Which
what?
part of your family?
My dad's side.
Ah,
Exactly. They came up during the Great Migration. They were in Harlem. Then they got priced out of Harlem and they went to the Bronx.
Where do you be going in Brooklyn that makes you so upset about being here?
That's what I be wondering.
No, I genuinely don't like how gentrified Brooklyn is. Like I don't like it. I don't like going to the spots and the crowd having a weird vibe. For
Where are
example,
you
I'll tell you.
going?
Okay, we went to what was that place we went to with Manny? The second spot. Wasn't it Lovers and Friends?
yeah.
Which I like. I like
haven't
Lovers
been
and
Lovers and
Friends.
I've
in
never
years.
been.
But it's a cool spot. But the crowd at the end the DJ got better. And I like that ceiling.
Wait,
thing
what
that
day
they
you guys
had.
on?
I don't know, like
It was
it was a
couple months
Friday.
ago.
It was after I bartended.
You know what's funny?
Um,
my boy Wolf, he might have been DJing that day too.
Okay.
It was a terrible DJ.
No. I don't think that was his friend because they
Sucks.
they had the Southern DJ
Sucks.
who I thought was bad, and then they had
Is
some
your
other
boy Southern?
No, he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, so
he's born
that
in New York.
yeah.
Alright, you might be alright.
He might have been the second.
You met him. You met him before.
Tell him he needs to work more days because when I went, it was
Dirt.
Yeah,
I
the
got
music
you.
for a really long time was whack. But so I was online for the bathroom and I hated the music. It was bad. And this man started smoking to me, which already like I'm just trying to piss dude, like leave me the fuck alone. So he's talking to me And he's like, oh, you look like you're not having fun. And I was like, oh, I don't really like the music. And he was just like, oh, I mean, like, you know, this is the best you're gonna, like, he was like, what kind of music do you like? And I was like, I like hip hop. And he's like, this is like the best you're gonna get for hip hop in New York. And I was like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
The best?
For context.
He wasn't from here.
Exactly.
Right, and
And
that's
the
what I
person
don't
that
like about
also-
Brooklyn.
The person that also brought us to the bar wasn't from here.
Okay. Don't play Manny like that.
I
like Manny.
didn't say his name. Why you out him like that? I didn't.
I said the bar we went to with Manny. That's how I led.
What?
I didn't say that he brought us there.
But
though.
but that's what I don't like about going out in Brooklyn. I feel like that's the crowd I run into. Like, I don't like the men that I meet. I don't like the women. I don't like anybody. I don't like anybody.
When you go out to these places, do you dance? Do you like to dance?
I do like to dance. I'm not a good dancer, but I do like to dance. I would be dancing.
I think ranked, honestly, Brooklyn is the best borough to go out in. I think Manhattan is definitely far at the bottom.
I don't
I'd
like
give
going out in
Queens a second and Bronx probably under that. So
Okay.
I would do Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Manhattan,
Yeah.
Staten Island.
What parts
for
of Brooklyn are you usually in when you're looking to
I
go out?
would argue that.
What would you put higher or lower?
I would.
He's gonna put Manhattan on
No.
No.
I like going out in Uptown. I like
I've been to a lot of places in Uptown.
This is
Definitely-
true.
I've definitely been.
Yeah.
I might switch Queens and
You could just. I feel like Uptown is its own thing.
Well, no, it's a collective.
That's still Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's a different vibe.
That's like, oh, you go to Park Slope and you're like, oh, all this Spanish stuff, and then you go to Sunset and you're like, huh, Russians. It's a different vibe. It's still Brooklyn.
Yeah, like let's
Brooklyn
not
has
go
mad
post.
vibes.
We have mad vibes.
Let's not.
So,
you know,
I feel like Manhattan has two vibes only though. It has the
No.
downtown vibe and the uptown vibe.
I agree.
I could agree with that, but then culturally breaks it down to a lot more.
But I would even put
there's, like,
Dykeman and Harlem together.
I
Like
was-
it's a similar vibe.
fair, but like, I was just literally at 110th yesterday, and at this Caribbean spot, right? It was Trinidadian, not Trinidadian. It was something. I had my girl had goat roti, and I had the chicken with rice and peas and like all that good stuff, right? Delicious, right? Literally went down in the train, like 4 stops, whole different type of energy.
Usually it's one stop. That's
Yeah,
how like
yeah,
New York
yeah.
works.
That's Brooklyn. It was in Manhattan.
But yeah, Manhattan.
The
Manhattan. I feel
blocks
like
are
from the
longer.
bottom tip
The-
to about the 70s is
Yeah.
probably all the same exactly.
Right.
Yeah, there's a Chinatown here or
There's a-
something like that,
mhm.
but it's just all the same.
Right.
So-
and then there's Uptown.
But yeah, so
Right.
I personally would say Brooklyn's number 1. I would say Bronx is number 2. I would say Queens is number 3. Yeah.
So you flip
Where
Bronx to
the
Queens.
fuck do
Yeah.
you be going out in the Because I do like the Bronx,
I feel
but
like
that nightlife
Queens
is
is.
not hidden.
You think Queens nightlife is in?
More than the fucking Bronx.
What's
yeah.
like the go-to spot in Queens?
In Queens, I think we have neighborhoods. I don't think it's like we have a particular spot. Like
See, in the Bronx, the places I
I
go,
think we
it's
got
like
both.
it's like actual like hip hop. Like there's some, as you would say, in the underground type shit.
mhm.
But like I've been to like nice hip hop stuff that's like actual to the culture. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I've been to fire ass clubs, like out there in the Bronx.
I don't know why you talking to her like that makes it sound like she wants like niggas in like dusty hoodies and like and
First
like
off,
you
she
remember
does,
the
let's be
fucking
real.
you remember the fucking beanies with the little cap.
Yup.
No.
Fucking with the
Beanie with the
Marie Francois Gerbeau jeans and
I'm crying.
Air Force mids, bro. Just like all
That's
like
the
it was
vibe.
real hip hop, just in a basement, nothing but graffiti. Just like
Mhm.
that's what you want.
No.
So, but
It's like this
universal.
new 50 is this.
It's like universal that Staten Island is number 5.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, Staten Island's definitely number 5.
I've never really been.
I've never been out like for nightlife. So
Because there's none.
It's-
I feel like even they just go to Jersey. Like everyone I know from
I-
Staten
I would-
Island,
You know
they
what's
go party
crazy?
in Jersey.
I've heard that a lot.
I would bump Jersey above Staten Island.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Jersey.
Remember pandemic? Like
Yo,
peak pandemic
Jersey
when Jersey was
lit.
open? It was it's
Jersey
so
didn't
sad
give
to
a
say,
shit.
but it was.
Yes,
it
I
was
was like, yo, Jersey.
Jersey
Kinda
didn't
feeling
give a
it.
shit.
And then we never went back.
Yeah, no, we literally after they got rid of the curfew in New York, I've not been back since.
Right. So, what parts of Brooklyn do you get dragged to for
I genuinely feel like I go all over Brooklyn because work, right? So
That's
I
a real,
work
that's a
for
real
like,
hard excuse that
no,
we're not buying
listen.
right
So
now.
I'm saying that I end up going out, and so my boss works in Red Hook. The other location of my bar where I work is like, I don't know what is that area, like between Sunset Park and Prospect Park.
It's like Bed-Stuy-ish.
No, the other one, the green one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Greenpoint. Like, I mean,
No, it's
What's
by
it
the
called?
Greenwood Cemetery.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't know
okay.
Greenwood was
Oh.
a neighborhood.
yeah.
No,
It is?
Greenwood's
Okay.
Greenwood's not it.
It's not. It's
No.
It's by the cemetery though. It's near Sunset Park or Prospect Park.
I
It's
don't
like,
even know. I don't even know what I call that name. It's probably
Well,
Sunset Park.
it's like very South Brooklyn, right?
Sunset, just call it Sunset Slope.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sunset. Oh God, don't do that.
After,
Stop
after,
doing
don't do
that.
that. Don't do that.
They,
Don't
they
do that.
heard you. Man.
after,
Yeah,
after like 24th Street, going down before 58th, you're in Sunset.
Yeah.
So-
So, I think it would
And
tech.
you're
It's
by the-
literally
I'm
right.
never-
So it's
Sunset.
touching
Yeah.
Sunset, yeah.
Yeah. So I've gone out in that area. I've gone out, obviously, Bushwick, Williamsburg, Bed-Stuy, whatever the fuck this area is over here. I've gone out in downtown Brooklyn. I feel like I've gotten my
Alright, you
taste
touched.
of
So
Brooklyn.
what
And
spots?
Flatbush.
So what spots are they taking you to that you feel like it's
That
not?
they're gentrified every spot. Like there's not a spot in Brooklyn that I've been to where, okay, except for that bar 333 bar. that we-
Okay. Yeah.
Which is weird because it's completely still surrounded. Obviously, it's their bar place, so it's surrounded by other businesses that are very gentrified. I don't know how they've kept the whites at bay. No, I'm just kidding. But
So,
I'd be the whitest person in there when I go,
So like you
which
say,
is not saying much, but
There's a lot of cool black-owned spots in Brooklyn, but I think the real like appeal for like Brooklyn parties is like ones that aren't like at bars or like they're not impromptu. They're like impromptu, like so they'll be like scheduled. You know, Brooklyn is the king of the flyer, like making a party.
Oh
or
yeah,
Yeah.
1,
Like,
2, 3s, yeah.
So there'll be like parties deep like on Utica or something that's just like a vibe.
you
Honestly.
hit up East New York immediately.
have
Yeah.
you partied in this year?
I don't know. It's possible because it's a stop on the Long Island Railroad, and I do like to be partying off that Long Island Railroad line. Get home easy.
No.
So for a spot to not be gentrified to your standards, there just has to be no white faces.
No, not even that necessarily, because obviously black and brown people can also be gentrifiers. I think I just don't like when I feel like the vibe is sort of catering to people who are not from here.
Yeah.
Or the vibe is being changed because of their presence.
Yeah, I think
Now
I
explain
think
that, explain that
selection
vibe.
DJing is always a telling factor.
There we go.
Like as soon as you go in and like you hear like the first 2 songs, it's like, this place is
Right.
not for me. Like this is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
And
they're playing something with no lyrics. It's always just housey or something like that. Yeah, it's
housey.
and not black people housey. You know which housey I'm talking
Yes.
I was like, wait
Yes.
a second. It's our music.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When I say rock and roll, yeah, I'm not talking about we originated it. I'm talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
but yeah, the music is always like a telling factor. But they do have a lot of good like hip hop spots in Brooklyn, even though they might like be on the cusp of gentrification or stuff like
Right.
that. I feel like Shemansky's a gentrification spot, but
It
has a
is.
black crowd.
Huge.
It does, but then like I do be feeling like I go, and I like Shemansky, but I also like Freehold, and I usually do feel like the DJ at Freehold be hitting, but Freehold's a better example because
Yeah.
the crowd at Freehold I hate that crowd. I
It's a-
literally
it's
every
a-
time I'm like, I would like Freehold if there was not this crowd.
It's a very head ass crowd.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Very,
And I have seen like bursts of that at Shemansky, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes in that direction. No offense, Shemansky, I love y'all, but it's just where you're located.
hold it down.
But that's my problem with purple
R.I.P.
spots. You
Kinfolk.
could have right, but Kinfolk also was getting on that vibe
Yeah.
right before. So that like especially when they instituted that like a no Tim's policy, like
Is that what happened?
No, Tim.
I was cool with the bouncer who worked at Kinfolk, and he told me that they were not letting in dudes wearing Tim's.
Careful with the
I'm like, that's literally discrimination against New Yorkers, but okay.
Yep.
I've had that happen to me, yeah.
That's ridiculous. Tim's are
See,
not like a.
But and the crazy part about that night
See,
was
my
that
thing is-
it was snowing.
Yeah.
Mm.
What the fuck else are we
I
supposed to
need
wear when it
boots.
snows?
It was a no tip pop on a snow day.
It was a no Tim's in general.
I have boots.
Yeah.
I need boots.
Like,
no,
I've
that's
seen-
like I
and they-
only
and
wear
they-
Tim's when it snows. I'm not.
and my friend, all my friends went in, and I was the only one stuck outside.
That's
I went
right.
home.
Was I there?
Why your friends leave you?
somebody's
yeah.
birthday. They're like, "Oh, we're going inside." I think I was like the last person to walk
Oh.
in. So I don't think they caught that I wasn't allowed, that I didn't get in until a while later. But then also nobody hit me up to be like, "Yo, where'd you go?"
That's
Like
fucked up.
it was radio silence that
And
whole
you
night.
stopped talking to him, right?
Yeah, I don't.
It's okay.
I'm not
Well,
really
listen,
good at that.
on principle, let's
I was
say
just thinking about who was.
Because like I understand a institution or like
dress code,
dress
but why
code,
fucking
like
Tim's?
I gotta
but-
say, even
but-
pre like heavy gentrification in New York, that was always a thing, and I feel like that's what led me more to the bar scene than the club scene, because being a black man in New York, right? You could be wearing like a 3-piece suit, and they'll be like,
Your socks are the wrong color.
I don't like
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
waves. I'd be like, no waves. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And they were black too. It wasn't even like the butters. They were black.
That's
Like you, like, and it's a club. Like nobody's looking at your
Yeah.
feet in a crowded ass.
honestly, like, let's say I didn't even fuck with you like that, and I was like, fuck Dash anyway. On principle, I wouldn't have done it. Because how the fuck are you rejecting people wearing fucking Tim's when it snows? It's New York. What else are we gonna wear when it snows?
Yeah, no bubble jackets. Like, what do you
Yo.
mean?
That's
thing.
crazy. Stuff like that blows my mind. Like again, I understand having a dress code, but like to specify, like saying no work boots. Okay, cool. That could be anything. But you're like, yo, no Tims.
Yeah, that's
You're
that's New
racist.
York discrimination.
You're racist.
That means
Yeah.
you want gentrifiers in this
Because
establishment.
if I show up with the lugs
The Smiths.
or the Wolverines or some
fucking-
shit, I get it. I'll be like, I was bugging. I was
I was
bugging.
bugging out.
So you telling me
But, like-
Funk Flex driving shit was okay, but the Tims aren't?
But the Tims, bro, like, come on, bro, like.
And Kim Folk, that's why y'all shut down.
Mm.
Just kidding, it was a global pandemic, but still.
Yeah, and
Give or
I feel like all of that really just leads to say that regardless of all that, we're still not leaving New York.
There we
because
go.
I
With
like
the
Cons
circle
of leaving
back.
New York are they're
You said cons of leaving New York?
yeah, we have cons.
Okay, so
The
what are
reason that we don't want to leave.
What are the cons?
They just said.
I want to see how you reacted. I'm just.
The cons of leaving New York?
Yeah.
That you won't be in New York anymore.
Oh, you're right. That's the biggest con of them all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pros to it.
No,
Yeah.
I get it.
Like being unhappy is a good
Yeah.
No,
Some people like to wallow in misery.
No,
It's
a
an
lot
aesthetic.
of people
Yeah.
leave New York and are
Happier.
much happier, actually.
Yeah.
Name one.
My friend Jonathan.
My mom.
Oh, your friend John. Okay.
He's fading
Yeah.
happy.
Jonathan,
Check
no,
on him.
No.
My mom.
Check on him. Why? He got like a nice picket fence and stuff? What he doing?
Yeah, he just bought a 2-story house.
What is his name?
Yeah,
John
right.
Doe.
Jonathan.
That
Oh,
house is
Jonathan
big.
Doe? Okay.
Listen.
I'm sure he exists. Anyway.
The house is big, but it's empty.
As you want, and that's how he wants it.
Like, yeah, it's empty. That's what I want.
Working-
You don't know what you want.
He's working from home. He's going to the
So am I.
gym.
I mean,
losing
me too.
weight. You know what I
Me
mean?
too.
He's partaking in,
You know,
in many things.
you know, was talking
What
about that.
things?
Hey, listen, that's
Is he in a gardening club? Does he bird watch?
Mhm.
Shit.
Is what I started watching on TikTok and reading articles on like Reddit and stuff, that people that lived in New York, right? Because when companies like, oh, you can work from home and you're making all this money working from home, they're like, yo, I could just move to a different state and still do the same job. And watching people on TikTok, they're like, yo, I just got a call from my company saying that come Tuesday I have to be in the office.
Oh God. I'm like,
And
don't
they're-
call him back.
and
Let
they're
them
like-
stay where the fuck they are.
They're like, you moved his camera, and he was like, yeah, I'm like 400 miles away. I don't live in the state anymore. And
Yeah.
I think those people, and like across the board, there was every type of color, race, and person
Mhm.
that said this, they found leaving New York to be a lot more relaxing
Yeah.
because they're like,
I mean,
Good.
during the pandemic, fine.
because there
But
aren't
when outside is outside, it's
Yeah.
unmatched.
because there aren't bugs.
I'm not saying that. I'm
When
not
you-
saying.
I'll give it this.
I'm not saying- I'm not saying-
I'll give it this.
There's
I'm
some
not-
niggas jacking their meat across from you on the train, just trying to get to work. Here you got now you gotta worry about nut on your
Yeah.
shit, like you know what I mean, like.
Like-
You know what though?
Uh-huh.
That makes us prepared, okay?
Prepared for what?
People
For night.
for someone jacking this shit in front of you, you get it done, you dash. Now you
That's-
have to deal with that situation because you have to face that,
That's how
okay?
you-
People in other places are like squeamish about shit that is like,
But you also understand
Whatever.
those things shouldn't be happening in the first place.
okay, wait. I was in Florida, right, recently visiting, and I got a hotel in a quote unquote bad area,
Uh-huh.
right? And I remember my friend Rachel was like to me, oh no, her sister Alicia was like, I saw, mind you, these girls are from New York. she was like, "Oh, I saw a naked man in the street. This is not a good area." And I was like, "So what? I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of a random naked man in the street. Basic. That's a regular."
Is he running towards me?
No, he was just.
Then we go.
Exactly. Not my
Problem
business,
solved.
right? Mind my business.
I
Okay.
New York
so I
teaches you to
could
mind your business.
understand that. Yeah. New York is king of that ain't my
Then
business.
how does that affect me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to work.
So the way I see it, right, is how their extreme is a norm for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But guaranteed, your extreme is an impossibility to them, or their extreme, their norm is your extreme. So, for example, say a crocodile is coming by, you're like, "Oh shit," and they look at you like, "Why are you so scared?" You're like, "It's a crocodile," and
That's
they're
facts,
like,
but a crocodile would actually kill me.
"A random person can kill you."
Yeah, but I feel
At
like
any
I
time.
feel like a
And
crocodile.
With no weapons on him,
And you
just
know
naked.
what?
I
And you
can
know where
see
your
you.
chances of
All he got is hands.
and you know where your chances of being
I
killed
only
by a
got
random
hands.
person are
Like-
high.
Exactly. I'll take it. Crocodile or
Probably
naked man?
you.
Which one you fighting first? Hand-to-hand combat. Hands to paw or whatever the crocodiles have combat.
Crocodiles can't do full-on right turns. I can handle a crocodile.
Okay,
So you'd
Eric, I
rather
want to
fight
see
a
you fight a
crocodile
crocodile
than a
I
naked
do.
man. Because I'm taking naked man 10 times out of 10.
How big was this naked man? Like,
Don't matter.
Let's say you have like
How
a
big
guy
is this
like.
crocodile?
I'm saying like, let's say
Nah,
A dude
'cause
named,
a lot of things
like,
can happen
Brock
with the naked
Lesnar.
man. Like,
Nate
body
Guess
Barnes
what?
can
can
end up-
I can tell you one thing. I'm gonna get knocked out. But I'm gonna tell you one other thing with the crocodile. I'm gonna lose a limb. At the very least.
lose
You're
a limb,
faster.
get knocked out, and then get face fucked.
You know what that limb?
Hard possibility. A naked Brock Lesnar is crazy.
Think about it. Right? Like how? Like there's many.
Like you
Watch
laid
it.
out that nigga teabagging you crazy.
Because
Hell no.
think about that,
Every
right?
crocodile.
Because like the guy that fucking in Florida all those years ago that started eating people's faces off.
I remember that.
You know what the regular people on the street were not afraid of? Regular people. They're like, "Oh, he's cool." Started eating faces. Everyone's like, "Oh shit, I have to be wary about faces." And not once, fucking alligators being thrown at windows. They're like, "It's fine."
Yeah.
But
Excuse me,
anyone, exactly. In New York, we're like, "No."
But to be
Their
honest,
extreme is your regular,
I
and vice
think,
versa.
to be honest with you though, even if I saw an alligator walking down the street in New York, it still wouldn't really throw me for that much of a curveball. Like it really wouldn't.
Yeah,
I'd be like, okay.
honestly. We've seen
Yeah.
exotic animals here before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember the dude in Harlem who had like the tigers in his apartment?
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. See, hearing it, right? Hearing it, like, that's cool. That's wild. It's New York. You can never be surprised in New York, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying seeing.
I bet his
Because
niggas
guaranteed-
are fake.
Because you
They-
say that, right? You're like, oh, an alligator, sure, but then I feel like you're saying it as though the alligator is across the street. If this alligator is approaching you at full speed, you're not gonna be
"Oh,
like,
shit."
just another day in New
New
York.
York. You're like, "Oh,
It's
fuck."
gonna be like, oh well, now I'm in the infirmary.
I mean, no, there are definitely situations in New York where you're gonna be running for your life, but it's still not gonna be like the craziest story. You could be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but
I
I could
was
guarantee
built
I
for this.
Yeah.
had a higher chance of not being assaulted by a drunkard in almost any other state.
Boring.
Mm.
Now, danger is now being safe is boring.
Yeah.
That's not a good mentality to have, honestly.
You probably
And
have a higher chance of getting hit by a drunk driver.
Listen, the cost of living alone is enough to live.
You have a very much higher chance of dying of boredom.
That's facts.
The cost
That's
of
a real
the
epidemic.
cost of
Do you
living
know who I
alone.
am? You know how much anime is in the world? I'm good.
My man said I'm gonna be heavily inside.
Like
Some
pandemic
some people
hit,
are good with
and
it.
everyone's like, "Damn, I can't go outside," and I'm like, "That's crazy."
At the same time, considering how
I'm
shit
just
is going,
outside.
why would you want to be outside that much?
All right, Dash. So moving
That's just
to
for the streets.
your
Why are you trying
But
to
bunny
also-
cosplay
But
in
also, I was not
Wisconsin.
a bunny. I was not a cosplay. But also, the cost of living here is so crazy that I can totally understand why, like, even like trading off some things, like it might not be like
I
as
would-
poppin', but at least I can like afford basic shit.
I would live in a box
I
if
wouldn't
it
be
meant
living-
I could stay in NYC.
Well, I
I
wouldn't
agree
do
with-
so. And I'm not having a good time. So
I agree with you. I really do. But I could, again, the way Dash said, I could understand when people like, I need to leave. I don't want to be here. Also, like, traumatic things can happen to you in your life. You're like, I don't want to be in the same area.
Well, yeah, but that's like any location.
Yeah.
Of course.
I really
Like
do
Mr.
believe.
Pafaf. who
I
left
really do
because of
believe
the
that
song.
like people like not wanting to leave New York is a combination
It's great.
of it's a combination of yes, it's popping, but also it's Stockholm syndrome. Like I've just been here so
My
long,
whole
so
life,
hard
yeah.
that like leaving. I feel like more people from outside of New York are willing to leave wherever they're at than people in New York are willing
Because
to.
we're and I see
But
I
it's
see
Stockholm syndrome and having a great time, not being a hostage.
Right.
That's the thing.
But you haven't had a great time the whole time you've been here.
Pretty much.
It hasn't been rainbow and flowers your
Pretty
entire
much
life.
been lit.
No.
Pretty
No,
much
because
been popping.
You lived on Flatbush, my nigga. It has not been
No, don't do Flatbush like that. Flatbush is a poppin',
It's
bro.
poppin', but
and when
again-
I could travel and commute
but
around, I
I'm
was
saying,
taking
there's-
long
I can
bus
give
rides
you
and
I can
train
give you a
rides.
trauma tour of my time on Flatbush.
Yeah.
That's where I got jumped that one time. That's where I got robbed the other time. That's where
I
they
got
followed me and jumped
Man.
me and robbed me that one
I
time.
got
That's your
jumped in
fault,
my
man.
own
You gotta be
building.
friends with more gang members, bro. I don't know what's telling you. Bro. That's
That doesn't matter if you're alone.
You don't.
does though.
It don't because
See, they know you at that point.
see, Yule, I got jumped in my building by the people that I knew. And when they realized it was me, they're like, oh, they already put licks on my body. They're like, oh, my bad, E, and then left.
Nah, that's crazy. Getting jumped at me like, oops. It's
I
crazy.
know you.
Oopsie.
Yeah, they were,
Just
I was going in, right, and there's like, I'd always take the staircase. But I was like, I am so tired, it's late, I came from school, mad late, I'm going to take the elevator. Boom. Elevator came in, I'm about to walk in, I get tackled, literally, into the corner. I turn, two more people come, reach for my pocket. Now, I'm trying to like fight in, I'm getting hit, they're grabbing, I pull my hoodie off to actually look, and then the kid was like, oh shit, yo, E. I was like, Pete, what the fuck? He was like,
There you put
yo,
Pete on black.
Nah, put Pete on black. Pete's fucking up.
Pete was like, yo, my fault, bro, we didn't know who you was.
How you just jump some random dude with a hoodie on? Like,
And then just
that could be your uncle.
like walked out the elevator, and there was, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sore now. I'm like, what the
Like
fuck just
knot on his head,
Like-
black eye, busted lip, and they're like, yo,
Okay, that's a lot.
Hold your- hold
I was
your
just
head
getting hit in my arms and my ribs.
My name was Rope-a-dope.
Content? No. So yeah, but
it was just like they
but like-
fuck you up, hold
but I knew them. They didn't recognize me coming home, and they're like, him. So nah, I'm. A lot of people know me in my neighborhood.
I've been very lucky to have never gotten jumped through that in Flatbush. So,
Well,
or other places.
I was supposed to say,
Don't try it.
I mean-
Don't take this as an invitation to try now. I'm washed. I'm over 30 now. It's not the same.
That's a fact.
they just had bones replaced. Like, come on, leave them alone.
Yeah, right. That's.
So yeah,
It
that's
wouldn't be a fair fight.
But like, I understand when people like they'll miss it because of how much we can do. Like, there's concerts every day. There's like free shit to do. We have great museums. But, and I highly say, your mental health is more important than all of that.
That's why I wouldn't leave New
You
York.
know, as far as I know,
That's why you want to.
That's
No,
why I
I
would not
wouldn't.
leave New York. Because my mental health is more important.
I feel like sitting
anything
inside
else.
a mansion with just nothing.
you think
to
your
do
mental health is
is
better here?
more damaging.
Yes.
Yes, I feel like sitting inside a mansion with nothing to do and wherever the fuck is more
What
damaging.
what is with this thing of having nothing to do? You can have stuff
There's
to do.
always
Like
something
what?
to do.
Like just playing video games, like doing
Not-
stuff
no,
inside your
not
house.
just- not
you
just-
gotta get air. You
can
gotta
still
breathe. You
you
have
can
to
still go out and
experience.
get litty and get turned, do all that
Where?
shit other
A
places.
lot-
Wisconsin.
A lot of in Wisconsin.
You know where our nightlife is severely lacking?
Where?
The strip club scene. You know where
Okay,
there are great
that's
strip
facts.
clubs?
Atlanta?
Outside of New York.
That is a fact.
We got a few contenders.
Where
Show Palace.
Mhm.
Riviera's I like. It's hit or miss, but I do like Riviera's. Damn, R.I.P.
Sin City?
Yeah.
yo, Sin City. I'm gonna front. Yes.
Yeah, Sin City was great. Yeah.
Yes.
And honestly, if you go to the Bronx, they got some good ones.
But
See, and that's the good part about
but Drake ain't
I'll
talking
even
about
give
no
it to the
Rivieras.
Bronx because we have sections for everything. So if you want to
Right.
go to the strip club, go up top, right? If you want good bar scene, stay in Brooklyn. If you want
Listen.
to meet people from every country on earth, go to Queens, or because that's their selling point.
Drake,
mainly.
21 Future. They're not shouting
If you
out
want
not
to
really.
cry and just be in a dump, go to Staten Island, and then Manhattan hosts all the businesses.
If you want to
whatever.
experience what it's like to leave New York and be miserable, go to Staten Island.
Yeah, go like deep in Staten
Yeah.
Island.
I like how you said deep because I'm like, bro, they could be right there.
Yeah.
Like, don't just get off the ferry and be like, I'm in Staten Island.
Right.
Like, no, go, keep going.
But like,
I would imagine there's maybe like one or
there's-
two okay places right off
Right off the
the ferry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, and my like when because I still say I'll be bored, right? In comparison to, right? Not that I'll be just flat out bored because there's always somewhere to go, right? You see millions of videos posted every day at a different bar, at a different thing. They're not all in New York. They're around the world, and you might go find a spot that's in like West Bubblefuck, Arkansas, and you're like, oh, blah blah blah, and have a phenomenal time.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna want to go there every week.
Mm.
That's the only good
Yeah,
spot.
yeah, the repeat
But
factor is
that's the
important.
thing, like
Yeah.
you don't know until you try.
I don't think I want
I
to
feel
go
like
there.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why no one else tried.
Well, guys, I have to pee, so.
Yeah, we're wrapping this right now. So,
Yeah, we said 30 minutes to an
yeah,
hour.
yeah.
Look at us.
Dash was like, oh yeah, we
Look
can
at
do
us.
like a 30-minute podcast. I was like, you don't understand how short 30 minutes is. We've had this experience of being on camera talking about like, oh yeah, we're gonna do like 15-minute episode. 45 minutes later, we're talking about
Our second topic.
whatever the Netflix special we watched was.
Yeah.
But no, this is a good one for our first one for
That's
sure.
great.
We only really had 2 topics, and then we expanded into a lot more than that.
Listen, we worked with those 2 topics.
You know, facts. But yeah,
That's
we're
why I
gonna
like.
run this
That's
back
why I
like every 2 weeks.
Stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's just,
I think Dash and I will be like the main
Mainstays,
members,
yeah.
right? But if you guys, you'll see members of the Black Collective on the podcast. Talk about a lot of New York-based topics. We'll talk about pop culture, whatever's happening. And so, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. All right, you can catch us on all of the places you can catch podcasts.
social medias and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah. Social media is all right there. Duck Eric, so people can see it. If you can't see it, right, it's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all right, and our email. It's the Black Collective NYC. All right. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in. All right, and so Margaret can go pee. Unless I extend this outro for a little bit
Bye,
longer
guys.
and
But
make it.
you guys want to drop your individuals?
Oh yeah, I'm New Yule City. On
I knew
Instagram
that
and
would
everything
have
else.
to
Oh, look,
say
she's
that.
back. She's back.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember mine,
It's a margarita pizza.
but it has 2 dashes in front of the M. I mean, 2, what is that thing?
Underscores?
It's,
Yeah.
It's
And then it's like MAH.
No, it's like
MARGHER.
I don't know.
Margarita is a hard word to spell.
It is. I gotta
It's
change
not.
my
No, wait.
handle again.
No,
No,
the
I
way,
like it.
no, the way you spelled it is ridiculous. But
That's how you
margarita on its
spell
own,
margarita, like
Yeah.
pizza.
is it? I
It
thought it
is.
was like margarita like the drink.
Nah, margarita drink and pizza are spelled
It's
differently.
spelled
Oh,
differently.
I'm uncultured.
That's why you belong with other people outside of
Just
you.
want to call out the fact that
Anyway.
because I just realized we are live. And there's a live chat. J Fluke has been in there.
Shout out to Jay Fluke.
Shout out to J Fluke. Shout out to
Appreciate you,
Sharon. The 1s and 2s. She out here.
Alright,
So
that's the podcast, and we'll be back.
oh,
It's first
social
episode,
medias.
but not. Oh yeah, New York City.
Dash, Ketchum.
Pokemon Master out here. Sire Chaos with the 1's nose.
Sharon
And she
Stokes.
said it, margarita pizza. You spell margarita the pizza way, not the drink way.
Mhm.
All right, we'll catch y'all next time.
Sharon
Bye.
Stokes. What is it?
And Sharon Stokes Art on the
There we
ones
go.
and twos.
Yeah.
Peace.
Your IG handle is cider.
Chaos.
What?
C1RE.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Sire.
I almost thought it was C1 Retchus. I'm gonna go pee.
It's Eric backwards.
Oh.
Yeah. It's my tag I've been using for many years.
Yo, alright. Live, thank you for being with us. You get to see us like inching all the seats and stuff. We're gonna cut it off.
Alright, bring out the whiskey, bro.